Yo, 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 it's your boy Mr. B bringing you some maths. Today we're gonna do paper 3 of set 1. Let's do this. Question 2, the topic here is angles, angle proof, more angles in parallel lines than anything else. So first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna find angle BAP, because that's the one we can find. So angle BAP is that guy over there. The way that we're gonna find it is, we know the angle BAP is gonna be equal to 180 minus 54 minus 90, which is 36 degrees. The reason we can say that is because angles in a triangle add up to 180. Remember, you need to give reasons for every step of your working out. Then, put 36 on the diagram. We can find angle BAC now. And the reason why we can find angle BAC is because BAC is equal to ACQ, which is 76 degrees, because they are alternate angles, and alternate angles are equal. From there, I can find x, because x plus 36 is going to be equal to 76, which means you take away 36 from both sides, x equals 40, final answer. Alright, question 2, topic here is lowest common multiple. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to break the numbers into primes. So 25 is going to be 5 and 5, both are primes. 35 is going to be 5 and 7, both are also primes. From there we can find lowest common multiple. So the lowest common multiple is going to be 25 is 5 squared, 35 is 5 times 7. The lowest common multiple is going to be every number between the two with the highest possible power. So there will be 5 squared times 7, there's no other numbers. 5 squared times 7 is 175, so we're going to need 175 from each. Now we need to work out the costs. First, for plates. There's 175 plates. There are 25 in each pack, so we're going to need 7 packs of plates. 7 packs at 78p each give me £5.46. For cups, I need 175 cups, 35 cups per pack, which gives me 5 packs of cups. 5 packs times £1.10 each is £5.50. Then for the total, I do £5.50 plus £5.46, which is £10.96, final answer. Question 3, something with beads, greens and whatever. So the topic here is ratio, and it's asking what fraction of the beads are red. So we're going to set up the ratio first. So we have red to green to total, always do the total. We have 5 reds, 9 greens, which makes it 14 total. Once we have a ratio, we can find out the fraction. So the fraction of red is going to be, there are 5 red, 14 in total, so the fraction is going to be 5 out of 14. Part B, there are 84 beads in the bag. How many of the beads are green? So first we're going to add the total beads to the ratio. So on the total column, we're going to put 84 beads. Then we're going to work out the multiplier. So how do you go from 14 to 84? From 14 to 84, you need to multiply by 6. Once we have that, we can work out how many green and how many red. I know the question only asks for green, but red is going to be useful later, so we're going to do both. So, to work out the green, 9 times 6 is 54, 5 times 6 is 30. Part B done, but 54 beads are green. Part C, Susie's going to put more beads in the bag. They're still only going to be red and green. She wants to have twice as many green as red. What beads should she put in the bag? This one, there isn't much working out to do. You just look at the numbers. There are 30 red and 54 green. For her to have twice as many greens, she just needs to add 6 more green beads. Final answer. Question 4 is a percentages question. So first thing we need to do here is we need to work out how much Katie spends on food as a percentage of her salary. So to do that, we are going to do how much she spends out of how much she has. So 48.45 out of 425. Put that in your calculator, that gives you 0.114, which as a percentage is 11.4. Since the average person spends 11%, that means that Katie spends 0.4% more than the average adult on food. Final answer. Question 5, topic here is forming and solving, probably the most popular topic. First thing we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to write algebraic expressions for each one of the months. You're always going to start with the smallest amount month, or the smallest amount anything on a forming and solving, which in this case is January. The smallest one that you have will always be X. Cool? Then February is twice as many as January, so February will be 2x. March is 10 more houses than February, so February is 2x, 10 more houses, 2x plus 10. And April is half the amount of houses as March, so April is going to be half of March, which is x plus 5. From here, we're going to set up an inequality and solve. It's saying that Coventry states so the minimum of 123 houses from January to April. So we're going to add them all together. So January plus February plus March plus April, a minimum of 123 houses. That means that those all together have to be bigger or equal to 123. From here, collect like terms on the left, you get 6x plus 15 bigger than 123. We solve for x, so take away 15 from both sides, you get 6x is 108. Divide both sides by 6, you get x is greater than 18. So 18 houses is the minimum amount. Final answer. Question 6. The topic here is area. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to work out the area of the semicircle. Area of a circle is pi r squared, so area for a semicircle will be pi r squared divided by 2. The diameter is 20, so the radius is 10, so this will be pi times 10 squared divided by 2, which is 50 pi. Leave it in terms of pi most of the time until the end of the question. Then we're going to work out the area of the smaller circle. We need to take the area out. So the area of the smaller circle is pi r squared. The radius is 5, so pi times 5 squared, which is 25 pi. Then we're going to work out the shaded area. First thing we have to do is we need to do the semicircle minus the smaller circle. So that is going to be 50 pi minus 25 pi, which is 25 pi. However, this is not the shaded area. These are those two areas added together. So if we need to find the shaded area, we take what we have and we divide by 2, which gives us 20.5 pi. We are close to the final answer, so now we round it. Put in your calculator and you get 39.3 centimeters squared. Final answer. Question 7 is one of those questions that ask us to spot a mistake. So the topic here is solving linear equations, but not really, we're more like finding mistakes. What is the mistake here? If you take a good look, the thing that he did is when he was expanding the bracket, he added 3 instead of doing 3 times 4. So he should have had 12 instead of 7. That's all you have to write down. Final answer. Question 8. The topic here is compound interest. So he invests 5,000 at 2.8% for 4 years. So first thing, we're going to write down the formula for compound interest, which is new equals original times multiplier to the power of time. Then we're going to substitute and calculate. So new is what we're trying to find. The original is 5,000. The multiplier for 2.8% increase is 1.028 to the power of time, which is 4 years. Put that in your calculator exactly as is, and you should get 5,583.96, which is the answer for A. Part B, Andy invests £12,000 in a variable rate. The interest goes from 2%, 3.5%, and 5%. So the interest is changing every year. In this case, we need to work out the multiplier for each year. So 2%, the multiplier is 1.02. For 3.5% is 1.035. And for 5%, the multiplier is 1.05. We have our multipliers, we can work out the value of the investment, because that is going to be 12,000, how much you put in first, times 1.02, times 1.035, times 1.05. Put that in your calculator exactly as is, and you get £13,301.82. Final answer. Question 9, we have another forming and solving question. So it tells us that the area of the whole thing together is 100 meters. So first, we need to work out the sides of when we have the whole shape together. So the shaded area, the non-shaded, lawn and patch. So the first side, the one on top, we have 1 meter plus 3x meters plus 1 meter. So that side is going to be 3x plus 2. The other side, we have 2x and 1 meter. So the other side is 2x plus 1. Now we have the sides of the bigger shape, we can set up an equation for area and rearrange to make it equal 0. So area of a rectangle is going to be length times width, or one side times the other. And the question tells me that that is 100 meters squared. So we expand the brackets, we get 6x squared plus 3x plus 4x plus 2 equals 100. Collect like terms on the left, you get 6x squared plus 7x plus 2 equals 100. Take away 100 from both sides, you get 6x squared plus 7x minus 98 equals 0, which is what your question wanted you to show that, so that part is done. Part B. So we're solving quadratics now because we need to find the value of x to calculate the area of the lawn. So the equation is 6x squared plus 7x minus 98 is equal to 0. It doesn't factorize neatly, which you can try a few times until you realize, but it is a calc question. So we're going to solve for x using quadratic formula. Quadratic formula, we need a, b, and c. A is 6, b is 7, c is minus 98. Then x is plus minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, which is the quadratic formula. We substitute the values for a, b, and c, use brackets. It takes an extra 3 seconds on your calculator and it saves a lot of mistakes. So you're going to get that x is all those values substituted with brackets. I don't need to read the whole thing. You put that in your calculator, you put it once with a plus, once with a minus before the square root, and you get x equals 3.5 and x equals minus 4.6. However, we are on a shape question, so we know that we cannot use the negative value. So x is 3.5. Once we have x, we can work out the area of the lawn. So the area of the lawn is 2x times 3x, which is 6x squared. We substitute 3.5 instead of x, we get 6 bracket 3.5 squared. You put that in your calculator and that gives you 73.5 centimeters squared. Final answer. Question 10. The topic here is quadratic graphs, always shows up every year. So first, we're going to take our quadratic equation and we need to complete the table. So I'm going to open brackets for x and I'm going to put that in my calculator because that is very useful. If you put that in your calculator, whenever you're solving for the next ones, you don't need to do the equation again. You just put each number inside of the bracket, get the result, write it down, go back, delete inside the bracket, put the next value of x. So first, substitute each value. When x is minus 1, you put in your calculator and you get 3. When x is 2, you put in your calculator and you get minus 6. Put that on the table. When x is 3, put that in your calculator and you get minus 5. That's part A done. Part B is asking me to draw the graph. So I'm going to plot each of the points. So the first point is minus 1 and 3, up there. 0 and 2, 0 minus 2 is over there. 1 and minus 5 is there. 2 and minus 6 here. 3 and minus 5 over there. 4 and minus 2 there. 5 and 3 is up there. Once I did all the points, I'm going to draw the curve. Remember, it has to be a curve, it has to be freehand, and you can't do those things when you're like repeating the same line to make it a little bit more curved. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be freehand. I have the magic of technology, so mine one is perfect, but anything close to that will get you full marks. Then finally, question C is asking me to estimate the values of x when y is minus 3. To do that, I'm going to draw the line y equals minus 3. So minus 3 on the y-axis is over there, and I'm going to draw a horizontal line. Then I'm going to check the x values where y equals minus 3 crosses the curve. So that is going to be that one, which is x 0.3, and that one, which is x equals 3.7. Your might not be exactly the same as mine. It varies with the curve, and there is a range of values that is accepted unless you didn't do it with your curve. If you did your curve and you got the values, you should be okay. But me, I got x equals 0.3 and x equals 3.7. Final answer. Question 11. It's another percentages question. Now it's asking us, it gives us a price, a reduced price, and it's asking us for the original price. So first, the price right now was 100%, we got 12% taken off, so now we have 88%. So that price is 88% of the original. So to find the original, I like to do proportions, so we're going to set up a table. 88% is 132.88, 100% is x. We have a direct proportion here, so we're going to cross multiply. So 88 times x is 88x, 100 times 132.88 is 132.88 times 100, and now we solve for x. x is going to be equal to divide 88. This is a calculator paper, so I'm going to do it all in one go. So that's going to be 132.88 times 100 divided by 88. Put that in your calculator and it should give you 151 pounds. Final answer. Question 12, we have a 3D trig question here. We are asked to find the size of angle BDC, which is that guy over there. In order to find that angle, we need to use triangle DBC, but we don't have any size of that triangle. So we're going to use the other sides that we know from the shape to find those sides. So first thing we're going to do is find each of those sides. Starting with DC. DC is part of triangle DAC. It's the hypotenuse of that triangle. So we're going to use Pythagoras. DC squared is DA squared plus AC squared. DC squared is going to be 5 squared plus 8 squared. Square root both sides. DC is the square root of 5 squared plus 8 squared, which is root 89. I'm going to leave them in surd form until the very last moment so that I don't over round anything. Then we're going to find side DB. DB is part of triangle DAB. It's also the hypotenuse. So DB squared is DA squared plus AB squared. DB squared is going to be 5 squared plus 10 squared. Take square root from both sides. You get DB is 5 square root of 5 squared plus 10 squared, which is 5 root 5. Leave it in surd form. Then we're going to find BC. BC is part of BAC. It's also the hypotenuse, because even if it doesn't look like it, it's opposite the right angle. So BC squared is AB squared plus AC squared. BC squared is going to be 8 squared plus 10 squared. Square root both sides. BC is the square root of 8 squared plus 10 squared, which is 2 root 41. Now I know all three sides. I can use cosine rule to work out BDC. So cosine rule for angle is A is equal to cos minus 1 of B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2BC. Remember, the only sides that really matter that you get the letters right are big A and small a. Big A is the angle you're trying to find, small a is the side opposite to that. Nothing else matters, the order. B and C, you can swap them around and it doesn't change anything. So in here, small a is going to be BC. You substitute the values using brackets and you get this gigantic expression over there. Put that in your calculator exactly as is and you get that BDC is 76.3 degrees. Final answer. Question 13, another forming and solving question involving area. So first thing we're going to do here, we're going to find expressions for both perimeters. For the smallest square, we're going to have 4 times x plus 4, which is 4x plus 16. For the larger square, it's going to be 4 times 3x plus 4, which is 12x plus 16. I'm multiplying the sides by 4 because they're squares, so all sides are the same. Remember, perimeter is the outside of each shape. Then I'm going to form an equation and solve. The question tells me that the area of the small square is 2/3 the perimeter of the small square is 2/3 the perimeter of the larger square. From here we solve. You get 4x plus 16, expand the bracket on the right hand side. 2/3 times 12x is 8x. 2/3 times 16 is 32 over 3. Then take away 4x from both sides, you get that 16 is 4x plus 32. Take away 32 over 3 from both sides. Remember, this is a calc paper, so let your calculator do the work. You get that 16 over 3 is equal to 4x. Divide both sides by 4 and you get that x is 4 over 3. Once you found that, read the question carefully. The question is asking for the side of the small square. If you stop there, you lost a mark. The side of the small square is going to be x plus 4. If x is 4 over 3, that is going to be 4 over 3 plus 4, which is 5 and 1 over 3, or any equivalent. If you did it as a decimal, it's not a big deal. Final answer. Question 14, a probability question. So we are asked, what is the probability that you get 2 biscuits that are not the same type? So probability method of Mr. Borges, we list the possible scenarios first. So the scenarios where we have 2 biscuits not the same type are plain chocolate, chocolate plain, ginger plain, plain ginger, ginger chocolate, chocolate ginger. Then we find the probability of each one of those scenarios. So first, plain chocolates. The probability of getting a plain biscuit, so we have 12 plains, 20 in total, so that's going to be 12 over 20, times the probability of getting a chocolate. We have 5 chocolate biscuits, and now we have 19 total biscuits because we took one on the first try. So the probability is going to be 5 over 19, which gives you 60 over 380. Now the probability of chocolate and plain, we just switched the order of which biscuits we're going to get. So the probability is not actually going to change. So the probability of chocolate plain is 60 over 380. So we actually only need to do 3 calculations here. Probability of ginger plain is going to be 3 over 20 times 12 over 19, which is 36 over 380. Probability of plain ginger is going to be the same thing. Probability of ginger than chocolate is going to be 3 over 20 times 5 over 19, which is 15 over 380. And the probability of chocolate than ginger is going to be the same. We found all 6 probabilities. Final step of the Mr. Borges method, we are going to add them all together. So you add them together and you get that the probability of 2 different ones is 222 over 380. If your calculator is simplified, that's fine, you get the right answer. And a final note, I know that there was another way of doing this. You could have found the probability of getting 2 of the same and doing 1 minus that. If you did that, well done. Both work, both should give you the same answer, which is 222 over 380, final answer. Final question, question 15. Let's do this so I can go play some Deadlock. So the topic here is non-right angle trig. So we're asked to find the area of the equilateral, no, we have the area of the equilateral triangle, we're asked for x. So first thing, we're going to write down the formula for area of a triangle, the trig one, not base times height over 2. So there will be, area is half of BC sine A. Remember, for area of a triangle, it doesn't matter which one is which, all that matters is that you have 2 sides and the angle between them. Then, we're going to substitute and solve. The area we're given is 36, that's going to be equal to half times, B and C are the same, it's an equilateral triangle. And then A, the angle between these, if this is an equilateral triangle, that means that all angles are the same, which means that each angle is going to be 60 degrees. We're going to solve from here, so 36 is going to be half times x squared times sine 60, which is root 3 over 2. 36 is going to be equal to root 3 over 4 x squared. Divide both sides by root 3 over 4, let your calculator do the work, and you get that 48 root 3 is equal to x squared. Take square root from both sides, and now we need to do 3 significant figures, so we're going to round. You get that x is 9.12, final answer. Okay, that's it, all done, another one in the bag. Hope you guys did alright. If you didn't, that's not my problem. Alright, Borges out.